What a breathtaking test series we just watched. It's not just 20 days, 21 days, 25 days of non-stop cricket. And with that high quality cricket, with that intensity of two inexperienced side, we can say, while England can be given a little bit of experience, it ends all square. Two apiece in a five-match test series, I think is the fair result. I have all four of us. Rather, one more person is expected to join anytime soon as well. I'll start with all the way from a person that went to this to England in this series, and he visited it very closely. Though he visited the witnessed the heartbreak. Well, whenever this game of sports says it gives you a second chance, and Mohammed Siraj got that second chance. Ritik, coming to you first, when you watched that closely, where with Mohammed Siraj couldn't hold on, the ball rolled back into the stumps. You thought Mohammed Siraj again. Yesterday, we can say Harry Brooks catch, Mohammed Siraj again. What happened today?
I believe destiny always plays a part, no matter how you see it. That was heartbreaking. I watched 4 out of those 5 days at Lords. I watched the first 3 days and then the fifth day, and it got nail bitingly close, as you guys all know. And yes, indeed, it was a heartbreak of sorts, not just for Indian fans, but I think overall, because you could feel that tension in the ground. When that last wicket fell, yes, the English supporters did jump up with joy, but you could see, for the ones who understand the game, you could see in them that disappointment that it was really getting down to the wire. And there were a lot who were actually egging India on as well because of that dramatic fight back that they gave. First Bumrah and then Siraj. Siraj's wicket was extremely unfortunate. I don't think I've seen a tail ender play such a good defensive stroke. And then the ball not just rolled over, but at the last instant bounced just a little bit. And then,
Yeah,
had it just rolled, the speed of that ball wouldn't have necessarily knocked the bails off. That
yeah,
last did it. And then it fell. And it
absolutely.
was catastrophic to say the least from India's point of view. Then you move on to the test at Manchester, where traditionally India have been horrible, to put it mildly, right? They've always struggled at Manchester. But that was an absolutely brilliant effort, especially in that second inning, right? From Jadeja and Washi to get
Absolutely.
that to a draw. Had they gone down there, the series would have been done and dusted, 3-1 to England, and this game just becomes another tick in the box. India came into
True
this.
that, but when you talk about resilience, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you talk about
No,
resilience, when you talk about the way unfortunate man of Mohammad Siraj got out to this, which happened today morning, first two balls, two boundaries, nobody would have thought that. Rather, some believed, obviously, but the equation is getting smaller and smaller, and we are thinking, okay, this game is slipping away. This could be that England are chasing it before the second new ball is due, but many things we'll discuss about. But Orko, from a Bengal standpoint of view, coming in as a night watchman and playing that kind of innings with the bat, Akash Deep. Your thoughts on that?
Well, definitely, it was some fight, some promise that he showed that he's someone who's not just a bowler but can contribute wherever required, not just to survive but actually to score runs. I mean, typically people associate a night watchman with survival, to just keep the wicket without falling or not letting the other batters getting exposed at day's end. But he, stood there and came the next day to strike a few boundaries, and the kind of survival come attacking nature that he showed even in as much long as he survived was tremendous. I mean, very proud of him, happy for him. He was also the hero of our the other test win in Edgbaston, so definitely good signs for his career ahead. And in the absence of Bumrah, if someone like an Akash Deep steps up, and even Prasidh, if we talk about in this test, stood up unexpectedly for many. So certainly bright signs for Indian cricket that they are more than just about Bumrah, but a complete team in total.
100%. And there are multiple reasons why we say this format is something different to what white ball format comes to. And the, in terms of Test cricket, Jihan, players give their bodies on the line. And prime example we've seen in this series, not just twice, while most of the media will focus on Rishabh Pant and Chris Wokes. But as Ritik rightly mentioned about Mohammad Siraj's dismissal, you cannot forget with a broken finger, Shoaib Bashir bowled that delivery in that over as well. How about that? Ben Stokes bowling 14 over spells for his country to win that game as well. Your thoughts on what this format brings to the table?
See, it is ultimately
the purest form of cricket, and these kind of situations prove that these players want to give it everything for the best format to help it survive. Because in 2019, when this tournament had been announced early in 2019, that time test cricket was almost about to die, because we were like, we will hardly get to
Correct.
see test cricket because of a lot of T20 tournaments coming up. IPL was picking up pace, and I think that the previous year only, I think two IPL teams came back and they were planning to have a bigger tournament. So it was painful to see that Test cricket is, but the way WTC came up, the way it has revived, and who actually says that Test cricket is boring? Like, you cannot dislike Test cricket. Come on, you can't be a cricket fan if you are not a Test cricket lover. Definitely, like for me, I can watch Test cricket for the rest of my life, and I can stop watching T20 cricket.
Absolutely. Test cricket is a different ball game. But coming to you now, Rohan, before I come to the two players who have given their everything, this comment section as well. Washington's innings with the tail, especially in the second innings with the bat, how important was that? We spoke about Akash Deep's innings with the bat, but Washington Sundar, this series in total, he has been backed numerous times. We were talking entire series. I will not restrict, take it back, including me as well. We were talking which game can we play Kuldeep Yadav, but Washington Sundar has been there throughout in the playing 11 with the bat, with the ball. Apart from that only statement where it backfired him. Your thoughts on his performance, please?
I think very good. Since last season, the time he came to the team in the New Zealand series, where he did well in Pune, I think before that he had a very good first class game for Tamil Nadu, scored 100. I think since then, I think he has only grown up throughout his career. I feel, yes, previously didn't get a continuous run within the team, so which could have been a drawback also in terms of having a surety in your place within the 11.
Correct.
But I think once Ash kind of retired, I think he was a sure shot second spinner come all rounder role. I think moving forward, if in case Jaddu also kind of moves out, I think Washi can be your player who can replace someone like Jaddu as well in the overseas test match, at least as your lone spinner, so that we can get someone like Kuldeep to be a more threatening option where you can get those 20 wickets, so that we don't have to rely more on Bumrah and his availability. So I think we need an
Absolutely.
overall attack. If Washi coming good, I think that's where India has hit a jackpot, I feel, because batting down the order, he can score runs. We saw at Old Trafford coming in at 5, replacing someone like Rishabh and scoring that 100, maiden 100. I think that
Mhm.
shows he's that top order kind of quality player also. So I think we need to give him a right kind of role, make him comfortable within that setup, and make sure he gets a extended run, because he has shown the skill set, temperament importantly, and I think he has a very young yes, in terms of age also. I think if you give him a long run, he can
Absolutely.
be your all-rounder to boot for, because we can't kind of match what Ben Stokes or Jacques Kallis previously used to do. But if you can get the spin bowling all-rounders to mature enough, especially in overseas conditions, I think nothing like that for Team India going forward.
Nothing like that. It's a young side, young captain leading the team for the first time as well, and fresh coach as well. So we need to give them time, but we will discuss about in depth. We cannot think about that we have won this year, drawn this series. We will go in depth at what mistakes have we done, so that we look into the bigger picture. But Sitanshu comes up with a curious question. He wants to know how many times a five-match test series has gone to all 25 days. Just a thought, and I've got it covered for you. Only four times, including this one. West Indies versus South Africa in West Indies back in 2001 was the first time. South Africa versus England in the 2004-5 series. Australia versus England, the Ashes in 2017-18. And this is the other one, the fourth one, where all 25 days we have had cricket. If rain wouldn't have interrupted, we wouldn't have had this stat. Maybe 24 days for India versus England series. But Orko, these two warriors, Chris Stokes, you being a doctor, can I hear? I want to hear a little bit of more about that. What comes when you run with a vibration, having a sling in your hand, and what comes when you're walking and running between the wickets with a fractured toe?
Well, it's certainly associated with a lot of pain. I mean, what Pant did. I would say that what Vokes did was a bit tougher because you need to hold the bat ultimately to, actually come out to bat. I mean, I agree what Pant did was also a superhuman effort, but perhaps what Vokes did, literally had to hide his arm inside his sweatshirt. And I think that was tremendous. I mean, that's the beauty of cricket, long live Test cricket, as people say. It has shown that every team, every player in both the teams have taken it upon, their prestige, or one would say ego, that they need to give their best even if they are down, half down, I would say, as people like Vokes or Pant. So certainly it's associated with a lot of pain, but perhaps the prestige, outweighs the pain that they might have gone through. And that's what brought them over there. So certainly, even if England would have won this, everyone would stand up for the kind of effort Vokes and also previously Pant did, and even Bashir for that matter. So I think this
Absolutely correct.
series is a wonderful series where we have seen a lot of roller coaster moments and something that will be remembered for a long time.
And being a doctor, everyone's question, including mine as well, can you give us a timestamp of both these return back to competitive cricket? Is Vokes making his way to the Ashes?
Well, I think Vokes would easily take around 6 weeks because that's the shoulder, and he being a fast bowler, he obviously would have a lot of impact on his shoulder. And if it doesn't heal too well enough, I don't see him back in action at least for 2 months for now. And with Pant already in the road to recovery, maybe another 3 weeks is what Pant would also definitely need. And maybe he would make it to the Ashes, Vokes. I mean, but we never know. Again, given the fact that fast bowlers have an extra amount of,
Yeah.
impact and burden on them, and given the fact that he's also an all-rounder, so added responsibility on him. If they rush at him, I don't know, but I think they do have bases covered. There are people like Cars and Atkinson and even Archer, who provide a similar kind of impact.
Archer, Wood,
Fast
they
bowlers who
should be
can
back.
bat a bit. Exactly. So whenever they'll be back, I think they'll have it covered, even if Vokes is not there. So perhaps I hope they don't rush his recovery too soon.
Absolutely. But when you talk about work rate, we talk about Mohammed Siraj, Ritik. And what about him? He has been so unlucky. I've read an unbelievable stat today after the match came to an end. More than 200 deliveries of false shots against his bowling. That's unbelievable. That shows that how much unlucky he has been. But there is also different stats saying with Bumrah, Siraj is a different bowler. Without Bumrah, Siraj is a different bowler. Two test matches we have won in the series. Unfortunately, both times without Bumrah. Can we say we believe in Mia Bhai now rather than Jassi Bhai?
Oh, absolutely. I think the thing to keep in mind here is the context of it, right? When you have somebody like Bumrah, who workload management and all that aside, hasn't delivered in this series to the level that we wanted him to, that people expected him to. Then when you have a Siraj coming in, that responsibility that he's shown, that added sense of responsibility, the fact that he has to deliver for the team, we know how gutsy a player he is. He is fierce in terms of being a competitor. He will give it back to the batsman, not just with the ball, but verbally as well if it's needed. Right? He will not shy away from a fight on the ground. All fair and square, but he's up for a scrap, let's put it this way.
Mhm.
And then when
Correct.
you have your senior bowler missing, and you have somebody like a Siraj with that heart of a lion to go in and bowl over after over after over. Yes, there'll be near misses and all that, and that's part of the game. But the key fact is he did not let that affect him to the extent that it might for lesser bowlers. He
He has
stuck to
bowled 183 plus overs in the entire series,
absolutely,
and his
absolutely, and he
average speed has been more than 132.
absolutely he stuck to his guns. He's delivered time and time again. Every time Gill needed somebody, he was there to back it up, come in, with some spells, good fierce spells. Even in the last series, I remember at Lords, I was there as well when he bowled Anderson. We couldn't hear ourselves because we went absolutely mad in the stands, right? And that's the sort of energy he actually brings to the ground as well. Yesterday also, he was pushing the Bharat army on. He wanted them to be louder from the stands. He has that Virat Kohli mentality of being aggressive, period. Test match cricket, I'm playing for my country, no inch given, nothing asked for in terms of favors. I'll give it back to them exactly the way they deserve it and more. And this redemption of his after the Lord's Test is something I'm really, really pleased about. He showed
Absolutely.
absolute heart when he bowled today. And he literally, within that first few overs, you could sense that something's going to happen either way very, very quickly. And it did. And it did in India's favor.
There you go. There comes a stat amazing, which I was about to say. 47 spells in the series, 47 spells in the series, and not
Yeah.
one delivery is slower than 131 kilometers per hour. This is insane. We talked about Jasprit Bumrah not bowling more than 140 in one particular test match. He comes in, bowls all 5 games, just like he did in the BGT as well. This is incredible work rate. But similarly, on the other hand, Rohan, uh, Ben Stokes. He was tad unlucky not to play the fifth test, but his work rate too, with the bat, with the ball, a little bit of the captaincy as well. Not pleasing, but is it?
I think he was the X factor standing between India and the win of this series. I think without Ben Stokes, England definitely could have been rolled over. I felt with the ball, with the bat, even his captaincy skills. I think overall a huge tick mark. Bit surprised today with Gambhir's choice for the player of the series. I felt Ben Stokes was the man for me. Brook
Exactly.
maybe
Even
just there
I was
because
surprised.
he would have played 5 games. I think that's the only
What was
criteria I
it?
felt.
Was
Or
it
else
typical Gambhir arcs between Ronaldo and Messi, and he goes for Rashford?
I think 91 is important than 97 sometimes. I think that's where he hit that. But anyways, that's his choice. But I am honestly feeling Ben Stokes' impact on this series, especially at Lords, because that's where the momentum turned. That Rishabh Pant run out, I think India was cruising at that time. Nobody was looking like getting out between Rahul and Rishabh. I think we could have got a huge lead there, finished off the test match there and then, rather than that heartbreak which Siraj had to endure. But anyways, I think even the second, at Old Trafford, there too, that marathon spell to get 100 also when people are doubting his batting. But I think Ben Stokes was the real guy for me, the difference maker for India. I know India is a young team. We maybe not the experts gave them any chance of a win, but honestly, the way they fought back, they could have really won this series if not for Ben Stokes. And that one guy, I think, was the rock
Absolutely.
for England. I know there was Brook, Root, XYZ came in and did the job, but Ben Stokes for me was the real man. They missed him at the Oval. I think honestly, his captain skills, Ollie Pope really didn't inspire much confidence
He
within
would have
anyone, even the
ran
English
havoc through the
hardcore
Indian
supporters
bowling
won't
lineup
believe.
had he.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Had he got an opportunity in this green top surface, I think his hands, lips, everything
huge.
would have been licking to have a bowl out there. But now, thoughts on, let's go on a little bit deep about India's performance throughout the series. Concerns were there, and I still continue to say concerns are there on the playing 11 selections. And Jian, coming to you first of all, Sitanshu asking me a question: has Prasidh Krishna justified his selection, especially in this match? I'll tell you, apart from Siraj, without a doubt, he has been a second best bowler in this test match. With his line and length, he has improved remarkably well. Thoughts on going forward away from home series? Siddhanshu says Arshdeep Singh I want to see. Everyone wanted to see an Arshdeep Singh. But as of now, they tried and tested combos, did not work out well. Too early to rule him out as well. Mukesh Kumar has not been brought in since a long time. Harshdeep is waiting for his opportunity. Your thoughts on that? Is Prasidh Krishna as your probably third or fourth seamer going forward?
See, honestly, I'll tell you, it might sound a bit harsh, or I don't know what it is called, but you can't just in Test cricket, especially, and if you're representing a nation, you can't be performing 1 out of 10 tests. I mean, this guy has been, has an he has given away over 600 or 700 runs in just 10 innings. That is not something you want to see in a test match. And I mean, at the beginning of his career, he started his, I think, career in South Africa, I guess. And I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
was
yeah.
not so good. So I think he got smacked over 100 runs over there, and he's being smacked 100 runs in, I think, 5 to 6 series or so far. So I think, yeah, he bowled a fantastic spell today. Definitely, no, he taking credits from that. I mean, he struck at the right time. But for me, yeah, he, as with Bumrah coming on, coming off, sometimes I think Prasid, you can keep him in the squad, as a backup bowler, just to get it. This was the right time to get Prasid in. But as of now, I mean, we have home series. I don't think we would require the services of us. But yeah, going forward in abroad, foreigns, like maybe like next, I think away tour will be in Sri Lanka, I think. So I think we
Yeah.
might just give him a go. Maybe just to let we don't need the likes of Bumrah, in such series. We could get the likes of Prasid in, but yeah, he has to control his flow of runs. I think. I mean, Test cricket is all about control the flow of runs, and I think Prasid has been struggling a little bit. But I think the last this Test what he bowled, was magnificent. He has to continue this.
Absolutely. This test match has been magnificent for Prasidh because of the way he has improved himself. But Ritik, coming to you in terms of the captaincy as well as the personal series which Shubman Gill has had, very close to Don Bradman, breaking his record as well. But he has broken plenty of records as a debut captain for India. His captaincy a little bit, do you think inexperience was visible in some occasions?
Well, let's be fair. It's his first series as captain. It's an overseas series. It's in England, which is not the easiest place to play Test cricket in. So you have to give him some slack on that front. That he will improve for sure. As a batsman, he was phenomenal throughout the series. I don't know whether you remember, but on one of our previous chats, I mentioned something that the first three innings that he played, where he scored those massive hundreds, that was when India was batting first. So,
Mhm.
as a captain, he did not have in his mind that pressure that the opposition has already scored X number of runs and then he's going in the second inning. Whenever he's gone and batted in the second inning, he has unfortunately not lived up to that initial part of the series. And this will also come with time. As a captain, he will need
Correct.
to evolve his game to understand whether it's in the first innings or whether it's in the second. How does he then change his game and then add value and more to the team's total? So, as a batsman, yes, he was phenomenal in the first half. He's broken records within that first half of the series itself. And yes, he hasn't scored that many before. As a captain, there will be elements that he will learn from this trip. And I think one of the key elements for both him and Gambhir to maybe collectively learn is about what we are talking about, which is the selection. You have to keep in mind that you cannot just go into a test match series on the basis of form only from the IPL. You have to keep in mind that formats differ. And with formats, the style of play, the conditions that they will play
Mhm.
in, the sort of effort you need from the bowlers or the batsmen will change. Sai Sudarshan was
Correct.
phenomenal in the IPL, right? This is a completely different ball game.
It's a
Prasidh
different ball game,
Krishna was wicket
absolutely different
takers
ball game.
in the IPL, right? But you're bowling only 4 overs per game there. Now you're coming in and you're expected to bowl 15, 20 overs. Same pace. Keep control. Keep your line and length correct. Play on the batsmen, strategize and get them out. It's not like the IPL where you come at the death end of an innings and the batsman's going hammer and tongs anyway, so you're more likely to pick up a wicket. So these are the factors that need to be taken into
Correct.
consideration. And it'll happen over time. I'm sure it's a
It will
youngish team.
definitely, because we are in a transition phase. Many things will
Absolutely.
happen, many decisions will be taken, and the head of the decision making is our head coach. And there's no better person than to ask the local lad all the way from Delhi, Gurpal Baji Mubarako, your thoughts on Indian head coach. Now, it's a different ball game. He's doing well in the wide ball, no matter he's a talented player, ex-player, former Indian champion as well. Your thoughts now on red ball cricket. What did you witness in these 25 days of test match? Gautam Gambhir, the head coach, what does he need to do?
मैं आपसे यही बोलूँगा कि आई गेस वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग कि हम 2-2 से हमने सीरीज़ को बराबर किया, बट इन द हाइंडसाइट इंडिया कुड हैव विन दिस सीरीज़। हैड वी
Okay.
हैव नॉट ड्रॉप दोस कैचेस, हम थोड़ी सी टीम सिलेक्शन बेटर करते तो हम ये सीरीज़ जीत सकते थे। तो अगेन वही है कि अभी जो गौतम गंभीर ने या शुभमन गिल ने या आदित्य अगरकर भी वहाँ पे हैं, तो सिलेक्शन कमेटी के इंचार्ज हैं, तो उन्होंने डिसाइड किया होगा कि वी हैव टू मेक आवर बैटिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर। ओके, तो हमने एक्स्ट्रा बैट्समैन किया। बट आप मुझे बताइए, नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी, शार्दुल ठाकुर ने ऐसा क्या किया जो कुलदीप यादव या एक एक्स्ट्रा बॉलर नहीं कर सकता था? जितना उन्होंने विकेट लिया या रन्स बनाए, वो तो एक कुलदीप यादव या अर्शदीप भी कर सकता था उतने रन्स
देखिए,
ओवरऑल।
इसमें थोड़ा सा डिफर करूंगा, कि देखिए, गौतम गंभीर हम लोग बराबर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में देख चुके हैं कि ही वांट्स एक्स्ट्रा कुशन इन द बैटिंग, एंड देयर इज नो डिफर फ्रॉम दैट. आई अंडरस्टैंड हिज पॉइंट. दैट्स व्हेयर आई सेड that if he wants to have two spinners, there is no spot of having Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav अगर खेल सकता था was only in Manchester. Apart from that, there is no other spot where Kuldeep Yadav खेल सकता था. But if you're coming to the young side now, Orko, coming to the where Sai Sudarshans have made their way to the side, how unlucky Abhimanyu Ishwaran has been not to get a debut. What's there for Karun Nair?
Well, I think they might give him a long run. I know people would oppose, but because he's done, relatively well. I would not say he made it a big daddy 100, but in tough conditions, he scored kind of a 50 runs, which were crucial at that point of time. So maybe they may give him a long run. But if you remember what Gambhir said years ago, he was the one who always said that selection should be made based on certain, parameters and stereotypes. And he always said that it's Ranji Trophy that is often a parameter to, make someone play Test cricket for the country. So maybe looking at that, if Karun Nair, obviously for the bucket load of runs he has scored in Ranji and in domestic cricket, maybe they could have done the same with Abhimanyu Ishwaran, but somehow they didn't look at him. They even preferred someone like Sudarshan, maybe because of that recency bias that comes in with the IPL. But I do feel bad for Ishwaran that maybe he could have got a chance, at least a test. Maybe
So
they
you're
would have
saying,
looked. They should have
I'm
looked at him.
so sorry to interrupt, but you're saying you have to play. The criteria was given by Gambhir to play domestic cricket to make a chance into the Indian side. Ritik, please, 2 lines on why Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli retired.
Like we say in Harry Potter movies, we shall not talk about those things that we are not supposed to talk about. But going back to your point on what you just made, you're talking about Gambhir always believing in the policy that the team needs to be batting heavy. I understand that when it comes to the limited overs format. In Test cricket, even if you score 100 runs as a team, you need bowling that will take 10 wickets twice.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're not winning the game. So if you're concentrating only on making it batsman heavy and not having that arsenal to deliver 20 wickets for you every single match, how on earth are we going to win series and matches? Gurpal Paji made a very, very interesting point. India, for me, should have gone into the Lord's Test 2-0 up rather than 1-all. Right? At Leeds, when you are at a position to knock the opposition out, we lost
Correct.
6 wickets for 41 in the first innings,
Correct.
5 wickets for 30 odd runs in the second innings. When you're on top
And
as
how
a
how,
test
how
playing
has that
nation,
collapse in the entire series costed India?
correct, as a test playing nation, as a side who is starting off a new WTC cycle, you need to bat the opposition out when you have that chance. If you don't, a team like England will make you pay, and they did. They made us pay
Without a
big
doubt.
time. And we lost the first game. Yes, we came back strongly in the second. The third one was as close a test match as you can get. The fourth was brilliant from both sides. I think it went down to the wire in the true sense of the term. And today was an absolute roller coaster of a ride. But the fact still remains that you need 20 wickets every single game to win. And you have to have that balance. Mind you, India within their back end still have a lot in terms of bench strength. You're looking at
Yeah.
Jadeja towards the end of his career, right? You have somebody like an Akshar Patel, for example, who has proven, especially in Indian conditions, that he obviously can bowl really, really well, but he's a very capable batsman as well.
100%.
Get in people
100%.
like
But
those.
but that's where my next question was very much ready for Rohan as well. Jadeja the batter. How good Jadeja the batter was this season. And I must tell you, said about Akshar Patel, but Jadeja the batter, including Gurpal Paji's point, I must come and tell you, Rohan, was I'm sorry, not Rohan's run out, was Rishabh Pant's run out at the stroke of lunch in Lords. Was that the turning point in the Test series?
Huge factor, definitely, because as I said, the momentum was with the Indian team, and we're looking for a huge lead there itself. But that run out kind of turned the tide, and we didn't quite capitalize on from that situation. And add on,
Exactly.
Rahul also lost his concentration, I feel, and he was out very soon after. So I think that was like
After the
back to
lunch.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, back-to-back wickets losing in a test match after such a good partnership, that kind of dented us badly. And what followed was that tragic of Siraj at the end we saw. But coming to your point, I think what India needs to do is, with someone like Gambhir, identify your domestic players who can give you those balance for the overseas test at least. Nitish Kumar Reddy and
Yeah.
all have shown promise, but can you find someone within the under 19 setup or any kind of Ranji Trophy team, if they can start developing people who can give you that balance, then your specialist bowlers who can take you those wickets like a Bumrah or a Kuldeep can play. It is because of that lack of that all-rounder and balance of the team that these kind of bits and pieces come in, and we may have to say, make someone like Kuldeep sit out. So I think that's where the strategy of a coach comes in, not just your squad of the 15 or 18 that you're carrying, but how you can develop your domestic strength as well. Ritik kind of pointed out the bench strength, but the bench strength for the right
Mhm.
kind of slot is also equally required. Just because we have Akshar
Absolutely.
for a
Correct.
Jaddu, or Oshi was ready for Ashwin, and other few openers also for the opening slot, but the all-rounder slot is what is the huge kind of a missing part that of this puzzle that Indian team requires, especially in overseas conditions, Sena countries in particular, because going to Sri Lanka or West Indies, these kind of spinners and other our pacers can do the job. But in a Sena countries, that's where if you can develop those guys, the same kind of results may materialize, where their team may wants that batting depth, and we may end up losing your key bowlers
True.
and not picking those wickets. So I think always coming back and fighting, it looks good. But why do you want to get into a situation when you can just go for the kill and finish off a test match? I think that's where you need those wicket takers. If you can
Yep.
identify this one missing link, I think India, not just this WTC cycle, next couple of cycles, they can just dominate.
Mm. Going back to your point, just to add on to something that you're
Absolutely, they
talking about,
can.
this Rishabh Pant's dismissal, right? So I was at the ground when he patted that ball and ran. The moment he ran and Ben Stokes picked up the ball, I used a few words, or a few words escaped my mouth, which I shouldn't say on air. But then it ended with him being run out. My point is very simple on on that particular instance. You have two very senior batsmen at the crease.
Exactly.
You have three more
Exactly.
deliveries to lunch. You're playing a test match. There's no rush for you to take a single just to get KL Rahul back on strike so that he can get 100 before lunch. There is absolutely no need. So, where in that situation is the game awareness? So, these are the factors which, and I'm not blaming Rishabh Pant for it. That's the way he plays. I understand that. But this is where the think tank behind needs to come in. This is where that aspect, that psychological aspect, where you have a psychologist nowadays with the team who's traveling, get those mind spaces in, make them understand these elements so that the momentum on games where we have it in the hand are not lost. And like England punished us, there are other teams out there who will punish us as well. South Africa will punish us in a similar situation. Australia definitely will. So will New Zealand, right? So we have to tighten these elements which are within our control, as in the Team India, within Team India's control, rather than handing it over to the opposition.
Absolutely. That's what you say, that holding on to the opportunities. Jihan mentioned a few while ago that there's those bits and pieces moments India lacked. And one of them is where in the Lords itself, and you watched it very closely, I'm certainly sure, Jamie Smith was batting on single digit score where KL Rahul dropped him at slips. And then he went on to make for 50, half century plus runs. And God, Jihan behind the scenes also writes me the same. And immediately in Test match cricket, how criminal is bowling, I'm sorry, for a spinner bowling no balls, now criminal is a batter getting run out.
Absolutely. And I think these are the sort of elements that are always in your control. And these are elements that you have to. It's criminal. Yes, we say it's sacrilege for a spinner to bowl a no ball. You need to have these things tied up so you're not giving away easy runs, no matter what the format, right?
True,
The
true that.
other
Absolutely
the
true
other
that. You
element
cannot
is that
afford to do that.
no, you can't. You just can't afford to do that. The other key element, no matter what format you're playing, are partnerships. Whenever we have a
Oh,
set
yes.
partnership going, you have to continue to build on that. Case in point is how Washi and Jadeja batted in Manchester. They put their head down and said, "Come what may, we are not budging from
And
here."
that forced a handshake.
That exactly that forced a handshake from a team like England because they've realized, oh, we can't get them out. I loved what Nathan Lyon said on that context. I'm sure you guys have read it.
Exactly, exactly,
He
yeah.
said, instead of bowling your other bowlers or offering a handshake, get them out. Get your main bowlers in, get them out. You couldn't
Exactly.
do that, hence the handshake, which was a moral
And
victory for India.
I'm certainly sure everyone in this podcast, including you, would have agreed, had there been a better leader, or maybe Ashwin, Rohit, Kohli, we would have certainly seen England bowling the remaining 10 overs as well, ensuring them they stay on the field.
For sure. I have a question on that same thing. I spoke to one of my friends who's a English journalist, and he refused to, of course, comment on it because he can't. But my question was very simple. I said, think of it as the exact same scenario 2 years from now. The match is exactly in the same state where it's going into a stalemate. You know you can't get them out. Root is batting and he has 10 more runs to get to his 100 and to break
Exactly.
Sachin's record.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
Gill as a captain or Pat Cummins as a captain or Babum as a captain goes up and offers to shake hands, will they take it? No.
Nobody will take it. Nobody will
Correct.
take it. Just because you're tired and you are seeing that in
Correct.
3 days you have the fifth test doesn't mean that
Exactly.
we will not see the
Exactly.
two batters grinding for 3 long sessions and saving the test. They will not go for test
Yeah.
100. Sundar
So
had an opportunity of going for maiden test 100.
absolutely. So much that I love the character that is Ben Stokes, and I feel he's one of those key characters in Test cricket or in World cricket at the moment. Rishabh Pant is one, Ben Stokes is one, Travis Head is one. These are characters, and you need characters in the game for
Absolutely. You
sure.
need characters in
But
the
I
format
think
of the
that's
game,
where
but
he
a
lost. That's
character,
where he lost. You could see he's lost his mind there. He's lost that mental
true.
game there. And that was definitely a very, very strong moral victory for India. And I'm hats off
Absolutely.
to the
But when
team
you
for
talk
sticking it
about
out.
character, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you talk about character, a modern day legend is there, Orko. Less than 2,500 runs away from topping Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar in the all time list of 10 test runs. Is he going to make it? Joe Root.
Well, I think he will because he has learned the art of conversions. Because in the past, if you remember Joe Root, like 8 9 years back, he was someone who was a person who used to get past 50 or score those 60s 70s and could not really convert. But of late, he's really hungry and eager to convert those 50s into hundreds, and that's what is adding on his statistical viewpoint as well. So I think he certainly maybe in 2 years or 3 years time certainly would be knocking at the door of Sachin's record. And given
Yeah.
the kind of respect he garners, people talk about Englishmen and arrogance, but I think Root is kind of different from all those other players, and he does get a lot of respect from around the world in the cricket viewpoint. So I think it will definitely be nice to see Root topping the charts. Maybe as an Indian we would not want it, but a
Yeah.
person like him, if you look at the kind of personality and the batting that he has shown of late, I think if he gets past Sachin, it would be a good thing to see.
Yeah.
It will definitely be a very good thing, Sisi, because the way he's batting and that conversion rate is simply sensational. But Gurpal Paji, wapas, Mohammed Siraj, he said he has a wallpaper of Cristiano Ronaldo having a belief written on that, and he believes so much. He's a Portugal fan as well. But Mohammed Siraj giving his heart out. How happy are you for him?
मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, दिल से बहुत खुश हूँ जिस तरह की उसने परफॉर्मेंस दी है। एंड ऑब्वियस हमेशा उसने व्हेनेवर बुमराह ने कभी रेस्ट लिया है या वो इंजर्ड हुए हैं, वो टीम में नहीं थे, तो सिराज ने हमेशा अपना हाथ खड़ा किया है फॉर इंडियन टीम। एंड ये परफॉर्म लाइक एनीथिंग, ही इज़ अ वॉर हॉर्स, यू कैन से ही
Yeah.
इज़ अ वॉर हॉर्स। उनको कभी भी बॉलिंग करा दो। मुझे एशिया कप का फाइनल भी याद है, वो मतलब वो इस फ्लो में बॉलिंग कर रहे थे कि वो बाउंड्री तक बॉल फील्डिंग करने भी चले गए थे उस टाइम पे। तो वही चीज़ है, मतलब आप इनकी परफॉर्मेंस देखिए, तो दीज आर द लेगेसी। बीजीडी में जब बीजीडी वो उनके शायद डेब्यू सीरीज था बीजीडी, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, या नए नए थे बीजीडी में जब इन्होंने वो
Correct.
जो फाइनल गाबा में जो बॉलिंग किया था, उसमें बुमराह भी नहीं
Correct.
थे, शमी भी नहीं थे, भुवनेश्वर भी नहीं थे। वी वर विद अ यंग बॉलिंग अटैक। हमने मतलब नटराजन को जो हुआ रिजर्व में से उनको हमने डेब्यू करा दिया था, ठीक है। देन एशिया कप एंड देन दिस, दीज थ्री परफॉर्मेंसेज। और भी उन्होंने बहुत परफॉर्मेंस दी है, ऐसी नहीं है, बहुत मैच विनिंग परफॉर्मेंस है। बट ये परफॉर्मेंस तब जब मैटर करती है कि आपने अकेले ही पूरी दूसरी टीम को निस्तर नबूद कर दिया, ऐसी आपने बॉलिंग की और आपकी बॉलिंग का
Even the
जलवा था।
2023 World Cup. Even
या
the 2023 ODI World Cup.
एग्जैक्टली ही मतलब ही इज अ फोर्स टू रेकन विद। बट अब और ये डिसीजन भी अच्छा था इंडियन टीम का कि इसको नई बॉल के साथ बॉलिंग नहीं कराई, थोड़ा होल्ड करके रखा और सेमी न्यू बॉल के साथ बॉलिंग कराई। आज भी हम लोग तब डिस्कस कर रहे थे क्या इंडिया न्यू बॉल लेगा, क्या इंडिया न्यू बॉल लेगा, बट
Oh,
जिस तरह से
I
बॉल मूव
can give
कर रहा
full
था।
credit to if any of the bowlers have taken that decision or Shubman Gill, whoever has taken, I think full credit to them for not taking
डेफिनेटली
that because that ball would have been hard and ball would have come nicely onto the bat. Full credit. Even I spotted a very good captaincy of Shubman Gill having a third man out there. Once or twice it went to Sai Sudarshan out there. Those things is where you learn from. And Paji, इसके चलते मेरे को आपसे सवाल है, even I will ask all of you, very small, बुमराह के साथ कैसे जाना है?
देखो अगेन अभी हमारी होम सीरीज है उसमें वेस्ट इंडीज के साथ है, साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ है, एशिया कप भी आने वाला है। तो आई गेस वी डोंट नीड टू प्ले बुमराह इन ऑल द मैचेस, ही शुड नाउ पिक सम गेम्स एंड पिक द सीरीज। लाइक फॉर साउथ
So
अफ्रीका,
you're giving him the choice to pick a series, or you're giving the management to pick a choice? That's where the difference is lying at the moment.
बोथ डिपेंड करेगा हम पिचेस कैसी बनाएंगे। क्या हम ऐसी मतलब सपोर्टिंग विकेट्स बनाएंगे जो जैसे कि फर्स्ट डे बैटिंग ट्रैक, सेकंड थर्ड डे इज अ गुड फॉर बैटिंग, देन थर्ड थर्ड डे इवनिंग से स्पिन शुरू होगा। अगर हम वही 3 या 2.5 दिन वाली विकेट बना दे स्पिनर्स की, तो वी हैव द रिसोर्सेज, वी हैव वॉशी, वी हैव कुलदीप, वी हैव अक्षर पटेल, वी हैव जडेजा, वो चारों काफी हैं दोनों सीरीज जितवाने के लिए। तो अगर
So
न्यूजीलैंड का
Paji
सीरीज
said,
रहेगा।
in short, I'll take it. Paji says no in home conditions as of now. Gian, over to you.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Over to you. How do you go forward with Jasprit Bumrah?
See, according to me, if he's unable to play these 5 test matches, and if he's wanting to play alternate test matches, or we before the start of the series we came to know that he's only going to play 3 test matches. Obviously, you don't want to hear such a thing going into such a big series, because that gives I think a mental or a psychological advantage to England over here, because in their mind they will be okay. We don't have Bumrah for 2 games, so what can we do? To rattle India with this inexperienced bowling lineup. I mean, see, even if you have the plan to play Bumrah for 3 test matches out of 5, you shouldn't be coming and revealing it in public. I feel you should
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
keep it as a
Absolutely.
suspense, and maybe just not come out in public like England usually give out their 11 just a day before, because they are very sorted with their playing 11. I think they don't need many changes apart from forced injuries. Of course, we didn't see much changes, but apart from that, I think Bumrah going forward for the 2 3 tests. I think now I don't the home series. I really don't think he should be playing that. I think West Indies are not a team where you need a player like Bumrah in that 11. I think even the likes of maybe Arshdeep Singh or Prasidh Krishna or something
Yeah,
can be happened.
Akash Deep, yeah. The
But I think
others.
going forward in New Zealand, I think we have 3 test match series. I think that in that I think Bumrah is very much needed, because we know what New Zealand wicket is completely grass wickets, and we don't need any spinner at all. We can use 5 pacers also, we like 4 pacers, and with Shardul or Nitish Kumar in the side. So I think going forward in that kind of a series, I think Bumrah is needed. But I think not going even for South Africa series, I really don't think Bumrah is. We don't need Jasprit Bumrah on Indian wickets as of now.
Yeah.
We are not
Indian
desperate
wicket
enough.
coach Jasprit Bumrah. Be mindful of him. Probably both of you are going for the Asia Cup, maybe. Rohan, your thoughts on how Bumrah can be used? Are we going to mostly rely on Bumrah? But now, as we move forward, without Bumrah, we see more results coming in our favor. Shall we go
Sorry
forward
to
to the
interrupt, Preetham. Sorry to interrupt, Preetham. And everyone, sorry about that. But there are reports coming in that Jasprit Bumrah will be rested in the Asia Cup. So I think
yeah?
that's
I'm
also not
hearing
good
that
a good
as
thing.
okay. Fair enough. Over to you, Bumrah. I'm sorry. Over to you, Rohan.
No, the first thing they need to do is have a clear cut communication with the player. Ask him
Correct.
what's his roadmap going forward, what are the series that he wants to play, or in particular which are the conditions he wants to play and he's most needed
Mhm.
for India. If there is even a home game where the condition demands a Bumrah, he should be available. I mean, there should be a pick and choose, yes, but not too much leeway for the player as well, because that may give a wrong
Mhm.
signal out to the opposition. As Jan rightly said, they can give
Exactly. Exactly.
a kind of a positive energy for them, saying that your star bowler isn't available for XYZ game. You don't need to give it out to the public. You keep it within the team, within the setup, so that only the players have this kind of a confidential news. You don't want these things out and give a false kind of a confidence to the opposition. So Jasprit Bumrah's availability, yes, he's your key white ball bowler as well, along with Arshdeep, I feel, in T20s as well as ODI setter. But next test series will be West Indies and South Africa at home. I'm pretty sure maybe against West Indies not quite as required, but against South Africa, if the conditions demand so, let's play him because he needs to be match ready as well. Not too much of a gap
Cannot
also
forget
is
South Africa
good
have
for
just
him.
won an ICC trophy.
Yeah, so you can't keep them light, and they are a gun batting team, and they have enough experience playing in India. So, and we just learned from the New Zealand series, we can't dish out those turners. Even our batsmen aren't so capable enough to play them. We don't want us Muthu Swami and Keshav Maharaj running through us, right? We don't want that kind of a bad thing happening. Let it be a good proper wicket where good cricketers and our skill set should win us game. not the lottery of a toss or the pitch conditions, etc. So in man to man, if you go on our conditions, India can beat anyone. We don't want to give a condition that makes the gap between those teams lesser and give us a chance to have a defeat or anything. We want good proper
Absolutely.
wickets where our skill set, our batters are capable enough to score bigger runs than the opposition, and our bowlers can of course use the reverse swing, etc. Anyone, not just to just see, any of our players also can use
Yeah,
that skill set to win us games, not just be too reliant on a spinner like what Ash and Jaddu used to do. Yes, they are capable enough in Akshar, Washi, Kuldeep, etc. But our seamers also
absolutely.
need to be in the game equally. So I think that's where moving
Yeah,
forward,
in Indian
discuss with the
condition, I
player
expect
and
at
then
least Kuldeep to be
plan
the
accordingly
frontline spinner as well. I think Kuldeep should be the frontline spinner in Indian conditions
at
because
home.
no
Yeah.
more Ashwin. We definitely have Jadeja, Akshar, and also Washington Sundar. But a little bit of different-minded question to both of you. Orko, first of all, coming to you, your thoughts on, you said Karun Nair might get a long run. You said about Sai Sudarshan might be here and there. Sarfaraz Khan is working so much on his fitness, but most importantly, is Shreya Shayyar getting a chance in the red ball cricket?
Well, he should. I mean, of course, if Shreyas Iyer is in the mix, if he's in the thought process of the entire think tank, then I would love to see him, replace someone like Karun Nair or even Sai Sudarshan for that matter. And keeping long term ahead, I think Shreyas Iyer also has a leader in him. And, if he's given a longer run and if he gets a few runs under his bag, then certainly, he can be a deputy if needed whenever someone like a Pant or a Bumrah is not available, to, help Gill out of situations in this format as well. And especially in Indian conditions, I do believe
Keeping in
Shreyas
mind that
Iyer
how
does
well
have.
Shreyas plays versus spin.
Exactly. Shreyas Iyer versus spin, perhaps one of the best in the country, and especially at home, I would certainly believe that Shreyas Iyer does have a good red ball batsman in him as well. So I think he's someone who needs to be looked in sooner than later, and I do believe that he will, and he has done enough performances in the white ball format to translate and give his chances over here. So I would be definitely happy if they once again look at Shreyas Iyer, because they did look at him in the past, but somehow they moved on from him, and even someone like Jurel, they look at Jurel more like as a backup for Pant. But if you look at him as just a
He's
batter,
a pure
I think he's
backup.
equally capable. Yeah, I mean, even in the series against England at home last year, he came as a debutant and slammed a wonderful century under pressure, batting with the tail. So I think you do need to back certain players for their primary skills and not just look at them as a keeper batsman who is just as a backup. So I think people like Jurel and Shreyas, if they get the chances ahead of Karun or even a Sudarshan, I would be very happy.
Yeah, that could be a very important factor. Shreya Shayyar is there. Karun Nair, you said about Jurel as a pure batter once Rishabh Pant is back. Three very, very vital points mentioned. Coming back to England, I think very, very important series coming up later this year. It's all important where many of us, I'll hear the predictions as well, as short as possible. First of all, to you, who is the frontline spinner? Because just one test match was given to Liam Dawson. I think he's a quality player. Are you going back to Shoaib Bashir?
Well, Shoaib Bashir as an off spinner is something that Australians in general struggle with a fair bit, especially on their home ground as well, because of the
Mhm.
bounce that Shoaib Bashir can generate, right? The Australian pitches are nice and hard. You get a lot of bounce as a spinner as well. This is one of the reasons why we had a non spinning leg spinner, the legend that is Anil Kumble, and he did really, really well there because he could extract that bounce and trouble batsmen. So I think Shoaib Bashir for me is definitely, if he's fit, he could be a handful if he's managed properly. Keep also in mind that quite a few of the Aussies are left-handers. So that's going to come into play, especially in a test match format as well. So I think, yes, the series, the Ashes series is a mouth-watering one which is coming up. I mean,
Absolutely.
for all of us, the timings are going to be crazy. I'm pretty sure all of us are going to be hooked onto it as well
Everybody will wake up.
because
I must tell you, everybody will be up
absolutely,
with
we'll all
a
be hooked
coffee in
onto
their
it, and
hand.
it promises to be a fantastic series because this format
And
of
I
baseball
want to
that
hear as
Australia.
short as possible. I know one of
Hmm,
your predictions. I know who is it, but I want to hear your predictions. 5 match test series. What's your predictions for that?
for Australia versus England, I
Yeah,
think it's going to be 3-1 Australia.
3-1 Australia. Orko.
Yeah.
Well, I think 4-1. I mean, I do believe that baseball doesn't believe, in draws. So I don't think they'll see draws either. Australia would, steamroll past them. I believe that they're going to win this 4-1.
4-1, 3-1. Somebody is pointing at 5. I'll go to him straight away. Jian.
Whitewash, straight whitewash. No chance for England at all. You can't play reverse sweeps on such bouncy wickets or some fast wickets, man. You have Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, and then there is going to be as backup. You have the Scott Boland. I mean, you know what he can do. And recently, only they rattled up West Indies for a double 27. Man, come on, you can't. And even with our inexperienced bowling lineup, having so many changes with Bumrah not playing all the games, we were able to take wickets, and England were looking to, were vulnerable. We saw
And we know
England
who is the
vulnerable at
pace
many
attack
times.
for Australia.
Man, you cannot. There is a day and night test match, man. Come on, there is. You can that too at Gappa, man. No, 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 no. With that Mitchell Stark, with that pink ball in hand, you can't. No comments.
Which is Stark on a pink ball, Paji, Gurpal Paji behind scenes, and we all know MCG, it has to be Scott Boland as well. Rohan shakes his head, he says 5-0 too. Paji,
5-0.
one word answer?
5-0. I agree with Jehan and Rohan.
So all of you are saying 5-0. Ritik says 3-1, Orko says 4-1.
तो
Ashes is going to be
उसका एक
mouth-watering.
रीजन है, द वे इंग्लैंड बैट, वो आपको चांस देते हैं टेस्ट मैच में भी, वो सिचुएशन के
बिल्कुल।
हिसाब से बैटिंग नहीं करते, वो अपना अपना बस बैस बॉल दिखा रहे हैं या अटैकिंग खेलने में जाते हैं, विच इज पॉसिबल इन इंग्लैंड। वो फ्लैट ट्रैक्स बनाते हैं, ड्यूस का बॉल का क्वालिटी भी उन्होंने डाउन किया है, बट कुकाबूरा, जॉश हेजलवुड with that off some line channel, Stark, we know what he do, Pat Cummins, we know what he can do, Scott Boland and Nathan Lyon, जिसको रफ में हेल्प मिलेगा due to that left arm
Exactly.
seam.
And they have a set. They can rather announce the playing 11 for all 5 test matches before the tournament begins, because we all know Australia's playing
No, I
11.
think they
It's just
will
that
rotate
opening.
Pritham.
Rotate with?
The seamers basically. I think they don't want to give them continuous this thing. They have likes of Boland, as you said,
I
Lance
doubt. I
Morris,
think
Tyree
they will.
Gibson.
I doubt they will experiment anything, because they want to hammer
No, even with
England
an
as
A team,
badly
they can
as they
beat this
can.
England. So not experiment. I think they know they can beat them. And problem is, yes, Australian batting is a bit susceptible, but the English bowling doesn't give you much confidence to pick you 20 wickets, man. They can't bowl you
Because
out in the home
by the
conditions.
time
They
I'm
won't be spin
expecting
there.
Mark Wood to be fit,
Wood will travel. Okay, because he's not so fit. Maybe one or test he can rattle a good spell, but consistently over a 5 test series, his fitness is a huge question mark. Archer, all these guys are question mark fitness. Can you pick 20 wickets on those Australian pitches once the Kookaburra becomes soft? We saw India struggle, someone like a Jasprit Bumrah, Siraj was giving us everything, we're struggling. England team here in those 5 test matches from over 30 to 80 couldn't pick a wicket, any of their so-called other star bowlers apart from Stokes. So I think in Australia they're going to get exposed because they don't have a quality spinner. Yes, Bashir can be a defensive kind of bowler, but who's going to pick your wickets like a Lyon did, or even someone like Ash could do it in Australia. Graham Swan was a quality bowler they had earlier, but that kind of quality at Dawson or who are others are
exactly.
there
That's
don't
when I
inspire much.
asked
I
Ritik
think
as
Joe
well.
Root will be
Who
able to
will
doing
lead
the
your
spinner's
spin
job
attack?
there.
Maybe it's Joe Root. Exactly. Maybe it's Joe Root who could be the most threatening. Yes, Gian, you want to add something?
And also to be mentioned, this bowler is in a similar kind of a dilemma like Bumrah. I think Archer here, he cannot play 5 test matches in Australia, that is for
True.
sure. He is going to get rattled, I feel. And I personally feel he's going to not play more than 2 test matches, because for those kind of wickets, you need those stamina and you need that conditions.
You
And
need
I
to have him
also
fit at
don't
least
think
for 3.
I also don't think the likes of Chris Stokes is going to play and recover from this kind of injury what he has right now. I think it will take at least 4 to 5 months minimum for him to, if he has a shoulder dislocation as well as a fracture, I think. So I really don't think because he got his complete hand covered. I mean, you can't recover that in less than 3 months for sure. And I think the same goes for Rishabh. I think which was with a broken foot, and I
We
think
have a doctor, and he said it will minimum take to 6 to 8 weeks, which is
Jahan,
2.5 months
that guy came
at
out of an
most.
accident so quick, man. This I don't think is a big thing for
And
him.
I really discussed this with Orko, and similarly that his life is
definitely.
something differently blessed,
He
because
walked out of a burning car
Yeah,
alive, conscious. He
It's
literally walked out of it.
और एक बात,
It is a
So
divine
ऋषभ इज
intervention,
यंग,
surely. It is a divine
ऋषभ इज यंग,
intervention.
उसकी यंग बॉडी है तो जल्दी रिकवर कर सकती है,
No,
ऐसा
you
नहीं
see,
है।
it is not about young body, Pachi. See,
nine.
anything can happen to anybody today. But the thing is,
he's a
it is all
warrior.
up to it is all up to the
It's all
Almighty
up to
here
God.
today.
नहीं नहीं, ये
Absolutely,
यंग
it's
बॉडी
all
का
up
भी
to
होता है, आप एज अ यंग बॉडी आप जल्दी रिकवर करते हो, एज अ ओल्ड लाइक इफ यू 30-40 इयर्स ओल्ड आपको
True.
थोड़ा टाइम ज्यादा लग सकता है, बट 25
बिल्कुल शिवम
25 30 थोड़ा जल्दी बेटर रिकवर कर सकते हैं आप।
बिल्कुल I
Mm.
absolutely agree. Everyone has given the say. Ashes done. Let's come back to the series final segment. Let's go an all 11 combined playing 11 for the series, and let's see if I'll give out the names, and whoever agrees, we'll pick out the names. Starting with the opening, let's not change the positions. Okay, so everyone who batted where, we come to that, and it's either this person or that person from either of the side. KL Rahul, does it make to your playing 11?
Yes,
If yes, then
obviously.
give a thumbs up. Everyone. So it's KL Rahul who makes the playing 11. Okay, who is his opening partner? Is it Yashasvi Jaiswal, Zach Crawley, or Ben Duckett?
Yashasvi.
Ben Duckett for me.
Yashasvi says
I
Duckett.
would
Jian.
put Duckett.
Ritik
Yeah, I
says
would put
Duckett.
Duckett.
Orko says Duckett. Even I think
Duckett.
Duckett.
Yeah,
Gurpal Paji said
Duckett.
Duckett.
That's why I said
Rohan?
Duckett. Yeah.
Duckett.
Duckett. I think Duckett. So Ben Duckett and KL Rahul is my opening pairs. At number 3, Ollie Pope, Sai Sudarshan, Karun Nair.
I can
Has
put
to be Ollie
Jaiswal
Pope.
at number 3. I would want to put Jaiswal
No,
at
no, no.
number
You
3.
cannot change the position. You
Okay.
cannot change the
Okay.
position.
Okay. Okay.
So it's Ollie Pope, Sai Sudarshan, or Karun Nair. I
Ollie Pope is the only one who got a century. So, if you have to pick best out of waste, I would put Ollie Pope only at 3 among the
Ollie
3
Pope
of
says
them.
Orko, unfortunately. Okay, Ritik.
Yeah, probably. I mean, given the way if you look at these three players and how they performed, then Ollie Pope has probably been the better of the three.
Okay, so Ollie Pope for you. What about Rohan? Yours?
I'll go for Sai because I think he had to play a tougher kind of bowling attack, and being a debutant, I think he kind of adjusted pretty well. Pope, I think we have seen him under pressure cracked pretty much continuously, hardly that 100 of the series which he generally gets after that tapers off. But Sai, I think overall he kept on improving at the oval. I think because of his experience at Surrey also, along with Karun, I think it was a very good partnership to get us that par score, or else we could have been bowled out
True,
by
true.
150. I think he and Karun did a
So you're
decent
saying
job. So
Sai
I think I just
Sudarshan.
got to take Sai.
Sai Sudarshan. Okay, Jian.
Sai Sudarshan. Sai Sudarshan
Sai
for me
Sudarshan.
too.
To a piece.
But I
Gurpal
think
Paji.
Pritam, I think you misheard me. I had opted for Yashasvi in the opening slot, not Ben Duckett.
Yeah, you opted for Yashashvi, but the majority said Duckett, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went for Duckett.
Cool.
Gurpal Paji, you are the decider. Two Sai Sudarshan, two Ollie Pope. Who's yours?
So if I have to add some fielding option, कि fielding किसकी better है, तो my vote will go to Oli Pop because also the condition will favor as an England home boy, so I will go
Okay.
with Oli Pop.
I was wondering as you were taking time, not go for a Gautam Gambhir answer and go for Karun Nair as either of them as well. So you're saying Ollie Pope, so that's the majority who wins. Number 4, I think this is the toughest. Either of one, Joe Root or Shubman Gill. Starting with you, Orko.
Yeah, well, come
I
on.
think Shubman Gill. I mean, definitely, because he's also the leader. I'd also put him as the captain of the side. So maybe Shubman for me ahead of Root as well. With due respect to his legendary status, I
Absolutely.
believe Gill had a series to remember. So definitely can't think of a team without Gill.
Shubman Gill, Orko. Ritik?
Now this is a spot I'm in, but
Absolutely.
I will be the devil's advocate here. Joe Root for me, definitely.
Okay,
And one of
so
the things that I
fair
would
enough.
mention here, just for all of you guys, if you haven't seen it already, do have a look at that interview that he had at the end of the day's play
Yeah.
at
Yesterday.
no end of the day's play after the last test match where he scored the 100, right? Not this one.
Okay.
And there was an interview with Nasser Hussain and all by the side with their trailer, and he speaks about how he's molded his game in the last 2.5 years,
Hmm.
the sort of
Yes.
analytics
Exactly.
he's done on himself in terms of looking at footage through Sky Sports, 20s, 30s, how is he getting out? And to minimize, like he said, I loved what he said. He said he's tried to minimize the risks as much as possible of him
Yep.
getting out to certain
Correct.
types of dismissals, right? That to me is what's going to take him beyond Sachin. And trust me, if he plays for another 3 years, and if he
Oh
reaches something
yes,
like
he
17,
definitely has that
18,000
caliber,
runs,
and I think he
that's
will.
going to stay, because I don't think if somebody reaches 17 and a half, 18,000 runs, given the amount of test cricket that's being played now versus what was played earlier, I think that record's going to stand. And mind
Nobody
you,
will
he's
be
played
absolutely
169 matches. Sachin had played 200. So
200. Yeah,
he has a lot of time on his side. So yeah, for me, going
absolutely.
back
So
to
you're
this
saying Joe
discussion,
Root.
Joe Root, definitely.
Joe Root, 1. Shubman Gill, 1. Rohan, over to you.
The Prince, man. I think he was my pick before the series. Shubman Gill, I think, answered a lot of his critics, especially overseas, and I think has evolved as a captain. He's going to get only better from here. 750 odd runs. I think that's a phenomenal achievement. So I think Shubman Gill for me. I know it's against Joe Root. I think even if anybody else also was in there, I think I'll put Gill there for me.
So
Fair enough.
Shubman Gill, according to you, Jian, yours?
Definitely, Shubman Gill. I think the character, the quality as a captain. I mean, he has silenced all the critics. Whatever trolls had come his way, that he was saying that he had his last 50 was some 4 years ago at Gaba 91, and
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Senna country, of course. And he scored 400s over here. He almost crossed the great Sunil Gavaskar's record. He's crossed one of his records. He was very close to follow, like breaking the other
He
one
was
as well.
very,
I
very
think.
close to Sir Don
See,
Bradman.
and one see, even in moment, I'll tell you, in highlighting even small captaincy moments where especially where that Duckett Crawley scene, what happened with the last 2 overs where Bumrah, I think Gill, when he stepped up, and he just showed that aggression on the field that is very much needed from a captain, and even to save that the fourth Test match, he came out at 0 for 2, and it's a
Correct.
very crucial
That was a
position where
memorable 100.
very
That
very
was a
see that
memorable 100.
you are a captain. You have to take up that responsibility of getting, because we honestly, I also felt it was an innings defeat loading coming like it was very
Correct.
evident
And
the kind
everyone
of a
said, because
situation we
before
were in.
lunch, I think the 2 overs were bowled. In 1 over itself, we lost 2 wickets. Yeah, Ritik was talking about batting second innings for Shubman Gill. I think this one the biggest knock for him in the entire series. Shubman
Absolutely.
Gill for Jian.
Definitely,
Final one,
definitely.
Palpaji.
So again, I guess Gill and Root both were magnificent in this series. आप दोनों को बाहर नहीं कर सकते. Only if you can allow the rules to change, then put Joe Root at number 3 and Shubman Gill at number 4. But Shubman Gill for me, because in अगर हम टेनिस के हिसाब से बात करें ना, तो इंग्लैंड वर ऑन थ्री चैंपियनशिप पॉइंट्स. आउट केम मैनचेस्टर सेकंड इनिंग्स शुभमन गिल, वो चैंपियनशिप से हमने ड्रॉ कर लिया गेम. So that is why Shubman Gill,
Exactly.
and he walked
So
the talk.
Shubman
He
Gill,
wanted to
आपके
be the
हिसाब
best
से भी
batsman. He wanted to be a
754
best
runs for
batsman
Shubman Gill
of the series,
versus.
and he is the best batsman of the series. Shubman Gill.
Absolutely. And without a doubt, he was a player of the series as well, chosen by Brendan McCullum. So Shubman Gill is at number 4, as chosen by majority of you guys. Number 5, Rishabh Pant versus Harry Brook. Orko.
Has to be Rishabh, man. I mean, let me be as neutral as possible because it gives an added keeping aspect. So I'm picking Pant. It's not the thing. Even if Rishabh Pant wouldn't have kept wickets, I would have picked them over Brook. So definitely Rishabh Pant for me, purely because of the flamboyance, the spice, that added advantage you have if you have a player like Rishabh in your team. Definitely a no-brainer. He's someone I would pick even ahead of a Brook, no matter how much of a left field choice Gambhir made with putting Brook as the man of the series,
Correct.
but it definitely had to be Pant for me.
Exactly. Even it surprised me. But Rishabh Pant, according to you, Ritik?
Pant for sure. I think not just the fact that
Pant for
he
sure.
has the wicket keeping abilities that he brings to the table, but you remember when we started the series and in the pre-series show that we had a discussion on, Rohan was there with us as well. And one of the names that I had mentioned, and you guys were in a bit of a shock, and I said Rishabh Pant in whites is a beast. He's a
Yeah, yeah.
different beast altogether, right?
And
His
added a little bit of that
mentality,
Rishabh Pant in full sleeve wides is a different
yeah,
beast.
yeah, absolutely. His
Mm.
mentality, and unlike Brook, where Brook gives a lot of chances as well, Rishabh Pant can play the long game as well if he needs. So yeah,
If you're in the
Pant for me.
England corner, can we say that Brook is the one who threw away the match?
I would, yes, for this match, definitely, definitely that one wrong shot because that was not needed and they were cruising, right? Cost them the game, or cost them that
Absolutely.
in that momentum right at that point and let India
Hey,
crawl
after
back
that, you
in.
cannot expect a young Bethel who's playing his first Test match of the series to come out guns blazing
Yeah,
and
of course.
get you out of the way.
Yeah.
So Rishabh Pant for you as well, Rohan, easy peasy.
Yeah, I mean the way he started, I think as Ritik said, first test match 200s in a same test match. I think that's where set the tone. And he's the only guy, not just Brook or anyone. He can do a somersault as well. So I think Rishabh Pant for me at 5.
Rishabh Pant, same goes. I think Gian is. I'm expecting the same. Rishabh Pant
Rishabh.
says two. Paji,
Rishabh Pant, MVP of Indian cricket and even world cricket. He can be
MVP of
into any
Indian
world
cricket.
11. He can be into world 11 as well. This time at this point
Wow.
of order.
Exactly, and
Yeah, I
as you
can.
were saying behind the scenes as well, he has one of the best defense, and even Ravi Shastri says that. We notice
Mm.
it too. Such a rock solid defense he has. Rishabh Pant at number five, according to us. Number six, another tough one. Ben Stokes or Ravindra Jadeja, or could
Can't
it
be a
be?
both. Can't be
Yeah,
a both.
alternate
A very
batting.
tough one. You know, it's
Alternate
very
batting.
tough. But
Sorry,
I'll
sorry,
start
maybe
with
Ritik.
Ork. I'm
No, no,
sorry to
no.
interrupt,
Sorry. Go
Ritik.
on. Also go
Okay,
on.
yeah,
yeah.
it's very hard, to decide among this. But perhaps purely because of the mentality and all, maybe I would choose Ben Stokes over here. And I've already chosen a few Englishmen. I mean, a few Indians. So perhaps give this one for an Englishman. So purely because of the all round skills, a little more impact with the
Absolutely.
ball as compared to Jadeja. I think I would pick Ben Stokes over Jadeja here.
Ben Stokes, absolutely. I think Ben Stokes will give you that extra bowling option too. Ben Stokes for you, Ritik?
Yeah, Ben Stokes for me for sure. I think the fact that he brings in the bowling and the batting experience as well. Plus, as a leader, he's aggressive. He walks the talk. He had a groin injury day one of Lords. He came in and bowled those long spells. That's what you need from a senior player, an all rounder, right slap bang in the middle of the team. So yeah, Ben Stokes for sure.
Ben Stokes for you as well, Rohan?
Yeah, Stokes. I think the guy who really epitomized this baseball and English spirit in this particular series was Ben Stokes. Yeah, you can love to hate him for whatever XYZ reasons, but I think he was the guy who kind of led
The
England.
cricketer in
Uh,
him.
I mean, if you could give me a choice, I'll have Jaddu at seven because in case there's not much spinner, Jaddu will be my lone spinner as well, so he can be at seven.
Unfortunately, going with the batting order as it has gone throughout the series, Jian for you.
I'll go with Jadeja over here against the
Ravindra
panel.
Jadeja, 500 plus
See,
runs as an all rounder, no brainer for that.
see, see, it is she no not just because of the runs he scored. Definitely, he's always see. I personally feel Jadeja has been very unlucky in terms of on the he's been on the losing side quite a while, especially in England. I mean, we saw that semi final also where he brought that. So, but
Yep.
he has been that warrior standing alone. I mean, he has not got the support from the other end. Ben Stokes has had players who have supported him, and we know England have that batting tail enders which who can bat at number 11 also and produce those
Correct.
partnerships. Okay, not counting Stokes' caliber. Okay, terrific mindset, but over here, not to forget, England pitches are not spin friendly. Jadeja has produced wickets at crucial intervals, even on such pitches. You need experience, you need that kind of mentality. Jadeja is also kind of a bowler who can come and bowl at any stage of the game,
Any
and
stage. And
he can
it's a very, very tough one. I say 50-50 because even Ben Stokes can bowl at any stage. Ben Stokes can bowl quick enough. It's a very, very 50-50 answer, and I
But
respect both of your
I will
opinions.
take I'll take Jadeja over here is because of he's not as much of an injury prone player as Ben Stokes.
Correct. Fair enough.
Because
So you're going for Jadeja.
Stokes, according to me, till the fourth test, overcooked and overdid himself, so that
Yeah,
he
that's what I said.
obviously injuries are obviously uncalled for, but I personally feel he overwent and bowled 12, 13 overs, 14 over spells. I think there was
14 overs.
absolute no need when you had the likes of Gus Atkinson or Josh Tung or whoever XYZ pacers were there
Adam
in
Khan.
their respective 11s. So, but I feel he could have easily bowled 5, 6 over spells, given it a break. I think he himself, I think, tried to prove his name or something. I don't know what, but according to me, I think that is not something this could also lead to maybe missing of Ashes also because he might have
Could
to
be.
go for a surgery over here.
No,
So I think for
he's
me, it's
gearing up. He's
Jadeja. This
recovering
is
good.
Jadeja.
You're saying Jadeja. Very short, please, Paji. Go over to you. Jadeja or Stokes.
If we talk about number six position, and we know till number six you have to have specialist batsman, and the way Jadeja has performed, Jadeja ने एक specialist batsman की तरह खेला है, and the spin at the spinner in him is a added advantage for a team.
Correct.
So number six is Jadeja. Stokes can come at number seven for me as a bowling
He
all
can
rounder.
come at number seven. Unfortunately, many have said Root can come at three. I understand. I feel for all of you. Two
प्रीतम इसके पीछे एक
Jadeja,
रीजन है,
three
इसके पीछे एक
Stokes.
रीजन है जिस तरह स्टोक ने बैटिंग की है और वो बैट जैसे वो आउट होते हैं और वो
बिल्कुल.
अम्यूज होते हैं या मैं कैसे आउट हो गया, but he is now looking more of a bowling bowler rather than more of a batsman. ठीक है, आप once in a while एक
The,
सीरीज
the
में एक
bowler,
विकेट
the
ले लो.
Stokes, was missing because of his workload. So now he is back in both. That will be an added advantage for whichever side. Stokes is what I'm going for. Unfortunately, because of 3 versus 2 votes from three, Ritik, Rohan, and Orko said Stokes is that there comes in my number 6. Number 7,
बट एक
Jamie
पॉइंट है,
Smith
कौन
or
कौन सा बैट्समैन है सीरीज में 6 नंबर पे आके 500 से ऊपर रन मारता है. Right, he
understandable.
deserves,
If
Jadeja
Stokes would
deserves
have
for this
played the
thing.
fifth,
6 नंबर पे
absolutely,
आके कौन 500 रन मारता है.
absolutely
और वो सेकंड
understandable.
इनिंग
But
में
I'm going.
उसका जो एवरेज है
Haji, we can do an
324 है.
impact sub.
He was not dismissed in the series.
For sure.
Gil
Right.
mentioned it, Rohan,
But
at large. Gil mentioned it that. But number 7, let's do it a little bit quickly. Jamie Smith or Washington Sundar Orko?
Well, I would pick Sundar purely because he adds a lot of depth to the team, gives some bowling as well. He bowled really well. I mean, people like Brook and all were struggling, when the ball started to drift with the old ball at Manchester, particularly. So I think, apart from the batting skills that he already showed, perhaps as a lone off spinner, to add a bit of spice as well, I think I would prefer Sundar ahead of Smith, though a very promising talent. But I still
Sundar.
believe that Sundar is the one.
Sundar is for you, Ritik. As short as
Ye-
possible, please.
Yeah, I think Smith is actually a very, very good talent for England. But given the sort of opposition that Sundar had to bat against, my vote would tilt towards Sundar.
Okay, Sundar for both of you. Rohan?
Yeah, Washi for me definitely, because again, not just a spinner, but he can give you that flexibility to be up the order or at number 7. So I think Washi for me is better fit for me. Though Jamie Smith has done his what do you call counter-attacking innings, slow down the order, but not as consistent. And when it mattered most, I think he failed. So I think Washi for me definitely between these two.
Okay, Washi, 3 of you. I think already Washi wins. Rohan, Jian and Gurpal Paji, same, is it?
Yeah, mine is
Yes.
also Washi is because I've already stated that he's already my player of the series. I've already mentioned at the
You
start
said
of
it
this
before, yeah.
video. He's my player of the series. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Paji, is it Washington Sundar for you?
Sundar, no doubt, clutch player, clutch innings in a short career. He is number 7 for you.
Okay, number 7, Washington Sundar. Number 8, we are coming now to the bowlers rather than all rounder. Chris Wokes, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Shardul Thakur. Orko first.
Very hard, I mean, it's very hard to decide from all these three. Maybe I would prefer Nitish because he did have a few good moments in the limited
You can
opportunities
add
he
a
got.
Liam Dawson to that.
Certainly not. I would rather avoid someone like a Dawson. Maybe I would go for someone like Nitish Reddy because of course for the same reasons why we talked about Sundar, but definitely his bat couldn't do the talking as much as we would have wanted to. But he surprised one and all with the ball. So I think I would prefer Nitish.
Nitish Kumar Reddy. Okay, for you, Ritik.
Vokes for me, given keeping in mind English conditions, the way that he swings the ball and so on. Shardul Thakur, definitely not. I really don't know why he is in the squad that he is. So fair enough. He's there for a reason, I'm sure. But one good test match in 15, 20 test matches to me does not justify you being in a national team. So yeah, for me,
Okay.
given the skill set as a bowler and as a batsman, actually, yes, he did not fare maybe that much with the bat this time. Chris Wokes for me.
Okay, Chris Wokes for you. Rohan?
Chris Wokes again because Nitish has shown some promise, but Wokes, the kind of fighters matches he has played, yeah, last innings, albeit in a sling, but in those English conditions, you want those wickets up front with the new ball. So I think he'll be my go-to guy in the conditions. Only for the conditions, I'm picking Chris
Yeah.
Wokes.
Okay, Chris Wokes. Jian?
Nitish Kumar Reddy. See, I think this player is going to come up and is going to be have a big future with India in the red ball cricket. I
Correct.
feel he's the way he played in Melbourne also he scored that century in the crunch situations, and I think you need such caliber. Yeah, he was not given much opportunities, and unfortunately, too, he got injured also,
Injury.
and he didn't get those runs he needed. I think, but with the ball he produced something. But I will go for yes, Nitish Kumar.
Nitish Kumar Reddy. So 2 apiece. Once again, Paji is the decider.
We have to go with Chris Woke. Though it was an underperforming series for him, but still, the number we are looking for and the bowler in him, with the conditions and with the way he swings the ball and can add some good runs. With the top 7 is very batting high friendly high our team. So Vokes deserves that number 8 because he's a new ball bowler.
Number 8, Chris Wokes. Fair enough. Okay, that's a good, because I think the bowler, the Wokes is required more than Nitish Kumar Reddy, the batter. 7 solid batters I have. 9, 10, 11, giving you a free hand, everybody. All the pacers you have in the series, you have to pick 3. Starting with you, Arko.
Well, Bumrah, of course, number one. People may say that we didn't win when he played, but I think Bumrah, the other pacer would be Archer at 10, and at 11, perhaps I would pick Akash Deep because he has certainly impressed in the 2 tests that we won. So I would prefer Akash Deep, Bumrah, and Archer to play as the 3
Have you
pacers for the team.
forgotten, or has it
Siraj,
slipped out of your
no
mind,
Siraj.
Mohammed Siraj?
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Then again, a toss up between Archer and Siraj. I would prefer Siraj definitely, but I'll still
So
keep
3
Akash
Indian
Deep.
seamers?
Yeah, 3 Indian seamers. I would prefer him ahead of Archer as well. Totally went out of my mind about Siraj.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, so
hmm
3 Indian seamers for Arko. Ritik?
I'll probably choose 2 because I can't choose the third one, to be honest. I'll leave it to Gautam Gambhir and Clan to choose that. But for me, Siraj, yes, for sure, and Archer, because Archer, when he's fit,
Hmm.
is a menace on a cricket field. And I will go
Okay.
back to my first and only experience so far watching a test at Lords, like we were talking about
Lords.
earlier. You can't see the ball when he's
And
bowling.
when his name was announced in the stadium,
Oh my
you
God!
saw the
But
England fans going
you
bad.
see him running up, and he delivers the ball, and you see his action, and then the next thing you see is the wicketkeeper collecting it, and you haven't seen the ball in between. So kudos to
We,
all the
we did
batsmen who
spot
play him and
Archer
play him
didn't
so
play.
well.
True, Archer didn't play the 5th test, but we did spot Archer 2.0 in the field, to be honest, in the 5th test. So you're going for Archer.
And
Who's the
Siraj,
others? Siraj,
Archer and
and who's the
Siraj are the
third?
two. I don't. I honestly am very confused about the third.
You leave it up to the others. Okay, so
I
Archer
leave it
and
up to the
Siraj.
others. Yeah.
Archer and Siraj, according to you. Rohan, yours?
Siraj number 1, definitely the kind of effort he has shown. I think he's been a warrior for us. Jasprit Bumrah number 2, the world's best all format bowler under any conditions. So I think these 2 are my picks. The third seamer can be any of it. Bryden Cars also has been pretty good for England, kind of bowling those
Exactly,
heavy
yeah.
back of a lens, contributing few runs also down the order. Josh Tongue has been guy who has been picking you
Gus
kind of a
Atkinson.
Gus Atkinson, no. I think just one test where the
Okay.
bowling, I mean, the bowler's kind of more bowling friendly conditions, so I won't pick him. Josh Tongue in the first couple of tests was pretty good. And even at the Oval, I think he was bowling some freakish deliveries where he got. I think he was all over the place to begin with, but I think once he
He was
got that
wayward
radar right, I think
throughout.
it
Yeah.
was tough to play. So I think just for that sake, that X factor that he brings, Bumrah, Siraj, and Tongue for me.
Bumrah, Siraj, Tongue for you. Jian for yours.
Bumrah, Siraj, and Akash Deep. I think Akash Deep has bowled some brilliant spells here. I mean, even coming in place of Bumrah in the second test, I think he took a 10 for, and taking a 10 for in England is obviously as good as scoring a century. And in current situations, you need a player to replace Jasprit Bumrah is a big deal. So I think I go for these 3 definitely.
So Indian
Bumrah,
seamers,
Siraj, and
just like
Akash Deep.
Orko went. Final one. So as of now, I can see Siraj and Bumrah is locked. So it's between Tang and Akash Deep, and not surprised so far in the combined 11. Who is the decider? Go for it.
Bumrah, no brainer. Siraj, no brainer. The line-hearted bowler we know. I will go for Josh Tongue. He's lucky. He has that X factor, the bit of pace. Akash is not that lucky. He don't get much wickets, but he bowled brilliant spells. But I will go for Josh Tongue, the youngster. So he can rattle the tailenders with his pace.
Okay, so Josh Tongue, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammed Siraj, done and dusted. We're done with the combined 11. Let's see how does that look. And starting with the openers, KL Rahul, Ben Duckett, righty-lefty combination. Oli Pope is at number 3. Shubman Gill at number 4. I'll come to the captain a little bit later. Rishabh Pant, wicketkeeper batter number 5. Ben Stokes at 6. Washington Sundar, also your lone spinner at number 7. Chris Wokes at 8. Siraj, Bumrah, Josh Tongue, your 3 seamers, which means you have 5 seamers, 2 bowling all-rounders, and you have a spinner in the name of Washington Sundar, who is your captain. I believe Shubman Gill was said by Orko. Did you say Shubman Gill is your captain as well?
Yeah, definitely. I would put him as the captain. A very inspirational performance with bat led from the front. So certainly Gill for me.
Gill, your captain, or who's going for baseball? Ritik, baseball, or Shubman Gill?
So for me, the captain ideally would be Ben Stokes, given his mindset and more importantly, given his experience as a captain. And I would put Shubman
Okay,
Gill then as the vice captain to learn
vice
all the
captain.
tricks of the trade from him, right? Learn the
Okay,
aggression,
so
learn the mind games, and so on. So Stokes for me
one
as
apiece.
captain with Shubman
Rohan,
Gill as
yours.
VC.
I think Shubman Gill for me because I think he has matured a lot over this last test matches, and also after end of the game or end of the series, you need a captain whom you can give a handshake to. So I think Shubman Gill for me.
Shubman Gill for you, Gurpal Paji.
वैसे इस टीम के साथ तो जडेजा को कैप्टन बना दो, सिर्फ प्लेयर इधर उधर करने हैं और क्या करना है. बट आई विल गो विद बेन स्टोक्स जस्ट बिकॉज आउट ऑफ बॉक्स थिंकिंग्स, trying to get player out, not by even by putting different kind of fields and all. That's why. And again, agreed with Ritvik Paji, Ritvik sir. Shubman Gill is as his deputy.
Okay, so Ben Stokes. So it's two apiece. And I knew this answer would be there. So this is a different decider this time around. Jian, the decider.
You know my answer, Pritam. Come on, yeah. It's so obvious. I
Even I
mean,
know it. Even I know the answer.
it is
But the
obvious.
audience
Sir. Come
wants to
on.
know.
It's definitely Gill. Okay, first series as captain has come up with an elite mentality. Ben Stokes overall, I feel, is a brain rot captain. He doesn't know what captaincy is. You need to get results. Ultimately, we always seen that your team has to win. Playing pass ball or playing with this called mind games. He has not won, like they have not won a single test match in Australia. They have not even he's not done anything. Even when he performed those heroics at Headingley
Hmm.
in 2019, they have not retained the Ashes. It doesn't make sense. WTC, they have not reached the finals. Forget finals, they have not even touched top five. So it doesn't make sense, doing any kind of mind games and all. Shubman
So
Gill with,
you have the
his
Stokes, the
first,
player, but Gill, the captain.
no, I would not have Stokes as player also in that kind of fight. You don't need such crybabies into that 11, please. We need some elite mentality
And if
players.
you if you notice, if you notice Jehan's team, he's the only person among all of us who actually
Who
named
doesn't have?
11 out of 11 as Indians. He doesn't have a single Englishman in his side.
Sorry,
So he
is
is
it?
the most Indian guy among all of us, and I can say that proudly.
Is it Jian? I didn't notice that, but did you name all 11 players in suggesting all?
If kind of positions and numbers you had mentioned, definitely I put all the 11 players because see, winning. I mean, drawing a series away from home is more like a win. Is obviously we have not
Correct.
let go of the trophy yet. Okay, Joe Root, being the legendary whatever you want to call him, has not won a single series in Australia and India in the last 7 years. The same called Ben Stokes, they haven't won a single test match in Australia. You need
Correct.
results, boss. Don't you need results? You
Baseball
need to
can
get
work,
your
but
team
you
into
need
a fight.
results. You're hosting a home WTC, so you
They,
need to make a
also,
team.
one more thing, Shubman Gill has scored runs. He scored a double hundred. He scored 400s in total, including a daddy hundred. Ben Stokes overcooked himself. I think he tried to show that he's the best. I'm sorry, but he's the most overrated player I've ever seen in my life. Very overrated.
Okay, so Jian goes for Shubman Gill as the captain. So we go with Shubman Gill as the captain. Sitanshu out here comes out. I'll come to you, Paji, with an unselected 11, which we have not gone. That comes to be crazy, he says. He goes for Yashasvi Jaiswal and Zach Crawley as his openers. Karun Nair at 3, Joe Root at 4, Harry Brook at 5, Ravindra Jadeja at 6, JP Smith at 7, Dinesh Kumar Reddy at 8, Prasidh Atkinson and Archer. That's not a bad side, I must say. But he goes to an unselected 11. He's very excited to announce that. Thank you so much, Danshu. I believe that your captain out here should be either of Joe Root or I don't see anybody else. So it should be Joe Root. Okay, fair enough. Paji, final word for yours before we send it
uh,
off.
by selecting Ben Stokes in the team, you have done so many things. He don't need to shake hand. He will get a shake hand with Jasprit Bumrah, Washington Sundar, and Root. He don't need to bowl Harry Brook against these people. He don't need to get out to Jasprit Bumrah and then realize ki how I got out. So you have done so many favors to Ben Stokes.
Okay, that's a different opinion. You want him in the same team as well. That sums up. Thank you so much. The clock says 1 hour 23 minutes. That's insane. Jian, you have a little bit to input.
I will again differ from Bazi. Like, firstly, Ben Stokes won't fit in any of the Indian team in the Indian 11. He would not fit in any of the domestic 11 also, unfortunately. There are many talented players who have a mindset, who play fair cricket and clean cricket. And I feel you need to. I mean, England also have kind of players who play fairly, like especially I will not say fairly, but clean vendors. I would say will go with the likes of Joe Root here, who has a class of playing in this format. And I think Joe Root as a captain also overall, I think he's not got results. He didn't have that thing, but he played kind of well.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much, everyone. All five of you, and also all the supporters in the comment section, especially Sitans and everyone, all the way to Lords once again.
No, not all the way to Lords, but I'll just say one final thing. It's been a fantastic discussion, and thank you all for that. For me, the way I've seen the series, and all of us have watched a lot of cricket. I probably have watched a little bit more, given my age, which we should not talk about. But it takes two teams. It takes two teams always to make a brilliant series, and I
True,
think both
true,
England
true.
and India turned up. They had their scraps on the field. No inch was given. None was asked for. They played cricket hard. 25 days of fabulous English summer test cricket. I think it's been one of those few really enjoyable
True,
series in the recent times.
true.
So honestly, I mean, you mentioned in your tab at the bottom that test cricket was the winner. Cliched as it
Absolutely,
sounds, definitely, and it's a great advocate for test cricket. When you have series like this,
absolutely.
people will come to watch, people will follow, youngsters will get involved. I think it
True.
bodes well for
What
test cricket
what
moving
what
forward.
what an exhibition! As I'm reading out what Gurpal Paji is sharing his thought behind the scene. What an exhibition and advertisement of Test cricket, and for the future generation as well. Long live Test cricket! I'm saying it on behalf of all the rest of the five people that are present in this show. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sitanshu, as well. Great session. Thank you so much as well. And Paji, yes.
So one final point. It has been a great start of summer, our Test cricket. We can say South Africa winning WTC, and we have fabulous advertisement of Test cricket. But you have to respect that man who has joined the ICC, Jay Shah. Salute to him.
You need to definitely he respects everybody. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this one. Another cracking test series comes to an end. We'll be back for more international cricket. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. One final time in this series. Thank you so much, and bye bye.
Thank you.